White diamonds, 2 a.m. she yelling. Bitches sick, got their stomach in her comments. What school you went to? God in or something?
We back in this thing. What's up, Cuzzo?
Yeah. What up? What up? What's good?
Man, chilling, man. Another phenomenal Friday.
Phenomenal indeed. We made it. We made it. Good to see you.
Man, good to see you too. Like always, man. Man, it's been wet out here, man. It's trying to keep dry. You see, I got the young coat on. I see you out there too. You got yours on too.
Man, bundle down, man. I don't know what type of weather this is. This is like East Coast weather. Although I've never been there, this is what it feels like, I presume.
Man, shout out to Tony. I know they lost a member, but one of their great songs, It Never Rains in Southern.
No. Yeah.
Hey,
they lied.
Us, you know?
They lied.
They was trying. I don't know who they was trying to get here. They was trying to fly somebody out or something, trying to coerce them that it don't rain out here. But it for sure rains. It's been raining for the last.
It does rain. It does rain.
Man, so what's been going on in the past week?
Man, past week for me, got a little guy, so started soccer with him, so that's exciting. And just being out there, I'm not the coach, but I'm like the team dad, the team helper.
Okay.
So, I actually conducted practice on Monday. Yeah. So, out there doing some drills, some cones, some work. I feel like a real soccer coach out there. I've never played soccer, organized or professional, but when you're an athlete, you can put things together from just any kind of basic drill. So did that. They had a good time, and the game was supposed to be Saturday, but it got canceled because of the weather. So,
I almost say that, huh?
Yeah, I'm sad and grateful at the same time. If you can be that way, so that's been my week. What about you, Cuzzo?
Man, my week has been a blur, to be honest. I had quite a few things going on at the job, and I said I wasn't gonna do this again. However, there was a shoe that caught my eye. So I've been out there. As soon as work is over, I hit the streets. Try to hit up as many raffles as I can. Before the mall or before the store closes. So, yeah, I don't know. I got shoe fever, so that's pretty much how my week has been. It's been at the office in front of the computer, and then behind the wheel, driving in these wet streets.
That sounds like life. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, I got to make sure that I, spend time with the youngster as well. The young man, he's growing too, as they all do, and he's, I can see he's going through his different stages of growth, and so yeah, it's fun though. It's fun. At first, I know his mom has a advantage over me. You know what I'm saying? Like he, in their culture they call it chi chi. So that's a advantage, a physical advantage he has. But he's starting to, like kind of cling to me now, which I really enjoy. So yeah, I try to spend as much time with him as I can.
Righteous.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, it's good that we talked about what's going on in our lives for sure. But stuff has been going on out in these streets.
Indeed, man. Things have happened for sure.
Things have definitely happened. So let's get right into it. We're gonna pull up we're gonna start here. We're gonna start with young Angel Reese. What do you know what? Actually, while I'm pulling it up, the video, what do you think about the WNBA, man?
WNBA is cool. I mean, I like it. I mean, I don't watch any games, But I like that they have an opportunity to,
The ones coming
play,
this
after college or high school, and they're able to earn money from that. So I think that's great. They're able to do that. Other than that, to be honest, I don't have any, desire to watch. Sometimes I'll catch a game if it's on, if I'm on, but I'm not really trying to tune in to see who's playing.
Right.
If I can be, bluntly honest. That's just me, though. I mean, there may be other people. That doesn't mean I may never go to a game or watch a game. If someone asks me or tells me to watch. But yeah, I mean, they got some exciting young players that just recently came into the league, like our young lady here that's pulled up on the video queue, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some more coming into the league soon. Got Juju and USC,
Yeah.
and a few others that's doing their thing. So yeah.
All
What
right, let's
about
get
you?
it started then. I'll give my thoughts after. I'll go and share the video so we don't.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Let's get into it.
The ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that the year after, they gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
No, they are.
I'm
They
hurt.
are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
I need to get in the. I need to get in the field.
You need to come to the
I
meeting.
gotta get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us. If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility for real.
Yeah, the ones.
I know that's a quite short video, but that's how it goes though, like there's a lot to unpack in this video. I mean, about this video, as the history of the WNBA, and actually I'll just start there. So the WNBA has not been profitable since it's been created. Also, you have to step back and say, okay, if it's not profitable, where's the money coming from? It's being subsidized by the NBA. And then, we have these conversations about one, where, how do we pay these women or how do they get contracts, like us, because it's come up like we need to get paid more. We need to get paid more. We need to get paid more. But like any business, if I was to open up a business and, I wasn't profitable, for the first few years, how much I'm gonna have to start having a yard sale to pay for my business, because how's the income? I mean, there's no income coming in to put me at a positive. So that means I'm gonna be at a negative, and that money's to take care of the daily things, pay employees. If I had employees to pay the lease, whatever that is paid for my products. If it's a product based business, or to pay for my services, there's money that has to come in. So if I'm not profitable, then eventually I'm gonna go out of business. So fortunately, the WNBA is subsidized, like I said, by the NBA. And so what that looks like is that they have a backing, so they don't, flop. Now, like something that you just said, I asked you about the games, and you said that you don't really look for them, to come on, and, you'll watch every now and then, I think you said, but I mean, that's part of the challenge, is nobody wants to watch it. That like more people tune into the NBA, more people tune into the MLB, more people tune into, the NFL, than they do the WNBA. I'm just talking about across the, spectrum of, I know they're different sports, but that's part of the problem. And then when they're actually starting to get more popular, they're getting more visibility, which is great, but they're still not profitable. And then you have to look at the other side of that. So, when you come to the standpoint like, oh, the people coming in after us are going to get paid more. Yeah, that's how it works. In any sport, like Shannon Sharpe, I heard him talking one time, and he said his first contract was $73,000. Like now, these cats is making $73,000 a game or more. A lot of them are making more than that. So yeah, you have to expect if you're new, if you early in the game, you're gonna get the salary that's comparable to where you're at, the deals and things like that. But then when people come, hopefully, you gain more traction, which is a great thing, and then you get more money, but that may not be for you right away, but the people that come in after you are going to benefit from it. And so that's what I know I had a lot to say, but that's kind of my thoughts. It's a few different areas you could talk about as it relates to this, and I think that the people that were in the NBA before Angel Reese came into the league probably feel the same way that she does. You know what I mean? Like you have these two, I say two because her and Caitlin Clark were the two, major draft picks last year. Those who are getting, a lot of recognition, and they are getting noticed more. That she has a Reebok deal, Caitlin Clark has a Nike deal. So, but the other people are also benefiting too, because you hear about other people getting the shoe deals and stuff like that. But they're profiting more than other people that came before them. So it's like a ripple effect. So you can't really be mad. You got to be grateful. So I don't know. I don't know if you want to jump back in and share any more of your thoughts.
Yeah, man, you made a lot of great points, by what you said. Generally it comes down to this what the opportunity costs. And if the opportunity costs are not met, then you got to really start to, break down, why are we doing this, or break down where the money is coming from, or break down who are we going to subsidize with, or who can we continue to subsidize with, because if we can't answer those questions, yeah, you want more money. Yeah, you feel like you should be paid more. But if your product is not yielding, the results that's going to allow you to reap those benefits, then, you're going to have a long uphill battle, to ask for more money, and it's not yielding any, the best results possible, And like you said, this is not new. This has been something that's been happening since the league has been started, So for whatever reason, it's not entertaining to watch. It's just what it comes down to. Yeah, you'll watch a game here and there, but it's not like something that you are compelled or want to watch or have to tune into. That's usually what entertainment is. You are compelled to tune in, each week or the next game because you want to see who they play next or who's going next. And, that's not the case here. Yeah, you have some polarizing characters, just now coming into the league that's taking the league by storm, and that's good. You need to continue to have those people coming into the league. But I tell people too, you got to be careful with doing that because you put yourself in that position. There's many different things that they're going to want from you, they're going to need from you, and they're going to look for you to be doing, in order to hold that space and also push a certain narrative because you have more eyeballs on you now too. So you have to be careful in becoming objectified because you're asking for money. You are going to be required more because you're getting more of that money, So those are just some key factors I would say too that people don't look at, but it's understandable. You're spending your time, you're spending your effort, you having your likeness out there, you want to be compensated well for that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So all in all, we'll just monitor it. We'll see where this goes. They're talking about lockout. And that's going to be tough because it's like, okay, if we're not spending money, not losing money, then we'll see. We'll see where that puts everybody, So yeah, that's all I gotta say
They
about
may
that.
be happy about that, man. They may be like, hey, we got some extra bread over here. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't gotta pay them young ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's I can save this little bread right here. We had put aside, for whatever. So
I
yeah.
mean, there's nothing like when you expected to, pay a bill or something like that, and you find out that you ain't gotta pay it, or you already paid, or you got some extra bread coming. Ain't nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could use that for something else for sure.
Definitely feels good. Indeed.
So what do you think could make the league more exciting, like make more people want to tune in, to watching the WNBA? I mean, I know Shaq has some thoughts. I don't know if you heard what he said.
No.
Yeah, he
I mean,
what do you think about
there's some
go ahead.
leagues going around where I done seen some leagues in the ATL and some other leagues where it's crazy, crazy.
Hmm.
It's like, but it's just kind of like after a while, I don't know, man. I don't know. It has to be eye catching. It has to be captivating, and it's tough, because women are in a different perspective. They are looked at differently, so you can't look at them in a way of, I mean, basketball,
Masculinity.
yeah, masculinity. So it's like basketball is like it's not really a gladiator sport, but it's very masculine, from conception. What you're trying to do? You're taking the ball, you're bouncing it, you're running up the court, and you're going to go score on the other person, and they're going to try to stop you. And that's a very masculine thing to do. So it's just kind of like if that energy is not put into it, then you're not looking at it the same. You're perceiving it differently. You know.
Yeah.
So that's tough to say. I would have to do some research. I remember a movie. Dang, what's that movie? Will Ferrell when he was the owner of a team. What was it? Flint Tropics.
tropical.
Trop. It's not Tropic Thunder, but
Yeah, that's the name of the team was the Tropics.
the Tropics.
Let's see.
Yeah, but anyway, he was the owner of the team, and it was like, man, they was losing money. They was talking about merging with the NBA at the time. This was their own league, so it's just kind of like they was
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro. Yeah, so they was doing, they was doing everything possible. Having half-court shots, was getting out
Jackie
there.
Moan.
Yeah, doing all crazy halftime shows. Oh boy, hit the shot from half court, and he was like, "Man, I don't even have the money for that check. So just take this check, and we'll get back to you." Oh boy wanted his money.
I need that bread, man.
I need that bread, man. I gotta buy some
That was
food.
funny.
I gotta buy some clothes and some more drugs or whatever he was talking about. But
Oh man, I need to watch that again, man. That was
yeah.
hilarious. Yeah,
But
he
yeah,
was like,
man, it just comes down to show you, man, how intricate business is and entertainment, and how fine the lines can be blurred. When it comes down to control and using, a certain marketing base or segment to push entertainment. And
yeah.
when
But I
women
think,
do it, it can be captivating in some spaces and places, but as far as sports, it's not the same thing. It's not the same level of energy in terms of output because of the perceptive, aspect of the woman.
well,
And
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that women, I don't know, it's not like you said, it's not necessarily a gladiator type sport, but some of the mannerisms, some of the things that go on are masculine. You boxing somebody out, you putting the elbow on somebody, you going between the lane, trying to your will against theirs type of thing, to score a basket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some of the women who look really masculine. You know what I mean? And they and I guess I don't know. I guess it's because we're so used to seeing men in basketball jerseys. Like seeing a woman in a basketball jersey doesn't scream feminine. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like there's other things too. Like we see somebody cross somebody over. Him with the killer cross. They leave them back there, and then when they get to the basket, it's like, eh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see all these all these great type of layups, man. Like, when somebody go to the basket, I want to see,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, a flush or
Right.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's like some of those other aspects are missing, from the game. I don't know. That was one of the things that came out. Maybe if we lower the basketball court, I don't know if that'll resolve it. If they start dunking on people, I don't know. I don't know. We know Brittany Griner gonna be out there dunking. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be like Shaq. I don't know. I don't know if that will make a difference. But I mean, that's something that came out. Shaq said they need to, put on them booty shorts and get out there and hoop. Yeah, Shaq said, hey, we need to see some sex appeal, on the court. You know what I mean? He said that might make a difference, So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if her take on this is a good take. I don't know if that's a good idea, to boycott, because I don't know. You're boycotting, something. I mean, you have to think about, like, what does the NBA lose, from not paying you guys more? I don't know. Like, I mean, you lose women basketball, professional basketball in the United States, because there are professional basketball teams, that are, in other countries. Women, before there was a WNBA, they would graduate from college, or, leave out of high school. I don't know how many people leaving out of high school females are, but they'll go like overseas and play. That's still considered professional. So I don't know. I don't know what the NBA will lose, by not paying them more. Of course, the NBA, I'm sure they want to, make an agreement, but then also you have to look at, you guys need more people. I mean, you need more people watching, you need more people at the games, and this needs to be consistent. And then that's when, like, all these deals, will start to come into play. And hopefully, like you said, you mentioned Juju earlier. Hopefully, Juju, is that added bonus, to the upcoming, few years. I mean, there's some other girls out there who are balling too, but that's one of the names that sticks out. But yeah, man, we see, man. We wish you the best, Angel Reese. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully, because I'm gonna be honest, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't watch it either. And it's not because I'm like, oh, women shouldn't be playing basketball. It's just that, it's not on my list of things to, want to watch. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I need to watch a WNBA game. Like, that's not, in my thing. And to be fair, I don't really watch. Hold on, why is that echoing? To be fair, can you mute out real quick? Let me see if it stops. Hello? Okay, yeah. So that was weird. It just all of a sudden started echoing. But to be fair though, I don't really watch the NBA that much either. It's not like, oh, the Lakers are on, you know what I mean? But there's more people that tune into those games than they do the WNBA game. So yeah. I don't know if you had anything else on that, but I don't want to, beat a dead horse. So we could move on to the next topic. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot this video. Well, basically, I'll just, kind of give a little insight. Well, I'll let you do it, man, since you added the topic about the milk and cookies.
Yeah, man. I was not really sad, but I was just kind of taken back by, seeing a story recently that come up that, the company and Girl Scout cookies, are being sued, because of chemicals or heavy metals, in their product. Now, this is all a product that we all grew to love and knew, every year, around the same time, we seen the little young ladies out there selling cookies. I think even my girls back in the day did it, one time, before. So it's just kind of like, yeah, coming into the new era that we're coming into in terms of, understanding that, what's in your food and why is it in there. Most of these chemicals or ingredients that are in your food shouldn't be in there. So why is it there? What's the problem? Why can't we have product like they have over in the UK, to where it's a lot less ingredients and cleaner in some aspects, and we just get to have continuous um, uh, harmful chemicals and metals added to our foods to process. I don't get that. So yeah, I was just kind of like, wow, okay. I kind of figured this would come up sooner or later, but let's just check this video out to see what's going on.
Toxic Girl Scout cookies? Researchers with GMOscience.org say yes, they contain ingredients linked to autism and cancer. They tested the cookies for the presence of aluminum, arsenic, lead, and mercury. 88% of the samples contained all of these. Every cookie tested contained the active ingredient in the weed killer Roundup, and 96% contained lead. The Girl Scouts say in a statement their cookies are produced by trusted licensed bakers who adhere to rigorous standards set by the FDA and other agencies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's yeah, that's crazy. And like you said, yeah, we all, a lot of people are ready, they can't wait for this time of the year to come around, right? And I actually saw some young ladies out, I forgot what store they were at, but yeah, this past weekend, selling Girl Scout cookies. I don't know if they got the news, but yeah, that's crazy, man. Like I know I've been buying them for years. Of course, to support. I do want to support. Our Girl Scouts, but hey, I like them butter cookies, man. Hey, I used to go ham on the butter cookies, and that's unfortunate. And to know that, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that we like at some point we're not gonna be able to eat anything that's made over here. Because every time you turn around, like something has something in it. And we find out years later, or some uh vaccine or something like that has something in it. And you're like, oh, I gave this to my kids, or I took it. And it's like it's crazy. To find out. How many years later? I don't know how long. I'm curious. How long have Girl Scout cookies, been sold? And has this went back all the way to that time? I'm curious. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Let me see. How long have Girl Scout cookies been selling? Damn. That's crazy. For over 20 years, since 1917. Since 1917, Girl Scout cookies have been sold. Now I could say, not with 100% certainty, but back then there for sure may have been some heavy metals and aluminum and all that stuff in there, because we didn't monitor stuff or have the technology we had, these days. But to your point again, we find this stuff in cookies. We give them to our kids. We offer them to other people, and then we find this stuff, and that's crazy. I don't know. Go ahead and share. I don't know if you have anything you want to share as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's been an issue, for some time. Having conversations or talking to people about health, because here in the States, as they call it, our food is treated, a lot different, than other spaces and places, countries, what have you. I would hear about stories of people going to other countries like Italy, and they can eat, pretty much all day, and not gain the amount of weight, you would gain here in the States. And it all comes down to chemicals, additives, preservatives, heavy metals. And then when you talk to people about it, they just kind of have like this blank stare in their eyes, and they're just sitting there listening. And then people say, yeah, well, that's the fluoride, that's the heavy metals, that's the chemicals. That's why they're just sitting there looking, because their brain can't really process what you're saying, you know. And that makes a lot of sense. You know, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I have conversations even with people in my household, and they just kind of listen to me like, oh, okay,
Right.
just kind of ignore you. But then when they get sick, they want me to, you know, be the witch doctor or play Jamel, the medicine man, you know, and kind of exactly help people come back. Right, right. So, and even thinking about this too, I saw a video of a guy, I think it was on Instagram, so where he walked up to Girl Scouts, you know, women and some girls selling cookies,
Right.
and he said, "Hey, would it be okay if I buy all of these cookies? How many boxes of cookies you got?" He said, "Yeah, I want to buy them all." He said, "Really, all of them?" I said, "Yeah, all of them. But I want to buy all of them, and I want to throw them in the trash
Hmm.
because these cookies have this in it, this in it, this in it, and it's not good for you. Because right now, what you're doing is selling poison to the public, and I
Poison.
just want to help. You know, I want to pay for the cookies, I want to buy them, but then I just want to toss them in the trash." Did you know that lady said no? I want the girls to have the experience, and yeah, you can't buy the cookies. Sorry, you know, because I want the girls to get the experience. You know, so habits are taught; they're passed down from your parents. They're passed down from, you know, people you look up to, and it's not about them knowing better. It's about them hearing an option and hearing the choices that they have and still choosing, you know, the latter because it's more comfortable, you know, with not making a change, or, you know, choosing a decision that's going to make you uncomfortable for a moment, but make you healthier or more comfortable in the long run. You know, so that's just the issue that we have. And of course, it's everybody's decision to do whatever they want. You know, you can't force anybody to do anything they want. But they made, you know, they outlawed liquor for a long time. They outlawed, you know, drugs, you know, marijuana here for a long time now. It's recreational. So why not outlaw, you know, heavy metals and stuff in the food that harms people? You know, why not outlaw that? FDA was a company that actually allowed and did their job, you know, as we thought they were supposed to be doing, then none of these things would be happening with your food. So people have to start re-examining the people that they put their trust in and say, hey, okay, so this is happening, but this was FDA approved. I want to know what their policies are. I want to know what their guidelines are. I want to know how do they approve something and not approve something, because the FDA approves a lot of stuff that's bad for you, but they don't approve herbs, they don't approve vitamins, they don't approve a lot of things that's supposed
100%.
to be good for you, you know. So I mean, that's just my take on it. I mean, I say look at things from a different perspective or scope and say, hey, I want my daughter, son to have a better opportunity in understanding some things from different perspectives. So let's look at it from this angle or that angle. Or they really don't care because they have habits, they have you know, stuff that they like to do, they like to eat, and they'll continue to do it. So if people don't allow things to happen in such a way, then yeah, these big food companies are going to eventually have to change, because they're going to start losing money like the WNBA, not making money, you know. So it's going to be one choice or the other.
Well, yeah, and I think that you know, to your point, um, it's something that we have to look into. You know, it pretty much is, or it seems like, I should say, that they don't really care, you know, about our health. You know, in the video it stated that it's linked to cancer, you know, to autism, you know, and some other things which are I feel like anybody, you know, would think that they're pretty, you know, pretty important. and we're so, again, to your point, we're so brainwashed and we're used to doing things a certain way that we don't want to detach, from that normalcy. I think that's the word. But we don't want to detach from, what we know, even though it's bad for us. I know sometimes things, bring them nostalgia. We used to when we used to play outside, we used to drink water out the water hose, but I don't know if that was technically safe. Who knows where that water came from, and what that water actually had in it. I mean, I'm still living, but that doesn't mean, like long term, it would affect me. These different things that they're putting in the food, it's not only affecting us, but it's affecting our children as well. uh you started to hear about autism. I mean, you didn't hear about autism as much. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but you didn't hear about that as much when we were younger. But now, like, you hear about autism and kids being autistic all the time, and you can't convince me otherwise that it's not partially because of the things that we're feeding our kids, and we're putting in our bodies, I should say, by needle, or through what we eat. So I mean, we definitely, actually, I would say shout out to Herbalife. You know what I mean? Because I decided to pursue a healthy lifestyle, what it caused me to do is it caused me to start reading labels, right? And so when you start to read labels, you start to see all these different added things, and then you start getting curious. And I know we're not scientists, most of us, I should say, and we're, just for the average person, we may or may not know, what those things are, but we have so much information at our fingertips. Like, we all carry around, you know, a mini computer. Like I told my daughter, this is a mini. You have a mini computer in your hands all the time, and so all we have to do is put it in Google and see what that is, because that doesn't look right. And you mentioned all these different added things. Like, some of these other countries have like maybe 5, 6, 8 ingredients, and ours have like, you know 10, 20. You know what I mean, depending on what the food is. And it should cause alarm, because why would we have to add these additional items, to the same food that I've been eating? It doesn't add up. But if you don't really look into it, but it should add up. uh if you're inquiring, or if you're inquisitive, or if you're paying attention. But yeah, man, it's crazy. That's unfortunate. And hopefully it doesn't, affect anybody, that's long term. And hopefully they could get it figured out. And I don't know, if it will, put a damage on the brand itself, because this is something that, people have been, to that posted, I mean, not posts, but to that Google search I just did, since 1917. People have been selling Girl Scout cookies, and this is 2025, so over 100 years. Um, and I don't know, will it put a damage on the brand? I hope not, but that's really, really, sad to hear. But yeah, I don't know, because did you have anything else you wanted to give any of your input on that topic, or did you want to move forward? Okay, give me the thumb. Okay. Are you look like you was trying to get a ride, man. You gave me the thumb like you needed a ride, like you was, out
Yeah,
there.
I was good on the topic. We could keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. That's what's up. All right, man. So we got this other topic right here that we gonna talk about. Let's see. Uh-oh. Dub is messing up. Let's see. No. All right, I'm just gonna. It's about 2 minutes, so little lengthy. Here we go. So Howard Lutnick. He's as it says, he's the Secretary of Commerce. He's gonna break down what the plan is, or what the outlook on the future could be, as it relates to like the debt and taxes, etc. So let me go ahead and stop talking, running my mouth, and share.
But it sounds like you're saying, trust us. And are you worried that at some point Americans are going to feel like there's a bunch of billionaires in Washington who are playing Russian roulette with our retirement?
$2 trillion deficits don't bother you at all. How could you ask me, while we're running a $2 trillion deficit, and not care? You're destroying the people who have run this country before, are destroying the future for my children and my children's children. I can't have a 50, 75. We have a $36 trillion deficit. And we used to run deficits of 400 billion. Now 2 trillion, everybody's like, who cares? I tell you what, who cares? Donald Trump cares. And when we balance the budget, you know what that means? That means our deficits stop. Interest rates come smashing down. His goal is to have external revenue. The way I think about it, we all are so used to paying taxes. We're so used to it. We have like Stockholm syndrome. Don't stop the Internal Revenue Service, God forbid. How about this? The rest of the world leans on our economy, breathes off our economy. Not only is our economy $29 trillion GDP, but we consume $20 trillion a year. We are the buyer of everybody's stuff. We buy everybody's stuff. So who's more important? The people who sell stuff or the people who buy stuff? So we are the buyer of everybody's commodities, products, goods and services. Everything comes from us, right? Let them pay a membership fee. We all understand that model. Let them pay. How about we, you and I, and every single person we know pay less? How about no tax on tips? How about no tax on overtime? How about no Social Security? How about all those things? These are the kind of thoughts that will change America. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal.
So
and that's what I'm working for.
But it sounds like you're saying,
Yo. So I'm here for it. He said quite a bit, in that 2 minutes. Number one is like, you see where certain people's mindset is at. Like their mindset is on, some of the negative stuff, or some of the least important things. We have a national debt that is ridiculous. And actually, let me pull it up because I want to get the number correct. What is the national debt today? 36 trillion, 22 billion, and some other stuff. So the national debt is $36 trillion. That is ridiculous. I can't even, like, I don't know, like, how much, like, yeah, $36 trillion. And so, yeah, he was definitely passionate, because you guys focusing on the wrong things. You're focused on stuff that doesn't matter, but we have a debt that we're trying to get rid of. And she kind of mentioned inflation. I actually, I didn't hear it in this video, but maybe I just missed it. But she mentioned inflation, and stuff like that. But like, inflation is only, when money, like when you keep printing money. you know, that's going to affect the inflation like substantially when you keep printing money. And the end goal is, you know, people are so locked in and so, again, used to what status quo is, used to the same old thing, used to paying taxes, used to doing all these things, and he's trying to save us from ourselves as a whole. Like that's the plan, to make us free. Like people are worried about, you know, or what if I have to pay more a little bit here, you know, or I want a stimulus check or something like that. But what if, like, the money you make, the money that you work hard for, you if you get to keep more of that money, then you have more money in your pockets. Like, think about it that way. You guys are so worried about the wrong thing, man. Like it's crazy, you know, that you got to understand. Like if we don't have to pay as much taxes as we've been paying, if we detach ourselves from the status quo, like even these tariffs, you know, people are so worried about the tariffs. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a potential possibility that, you know, some of these countries could hold strong, you know, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're all going to, you know, concede, you know, but Canada already did it. But anyway, like some of these countries that concede, and they've been taxing us for years and years and years and years, and not and not allowing, like, not buying our products. But you guys are saying, oh, Viva Mexico, and, you know, shout out to Canada, you know, I hope you win. Like, who the F are y'all? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, who are y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for Ukraine. Like, who are you? Like, you need to go really fight with Ukraine. Go over there and fight with them. But yeah, it's crazy to me, man. I don't want to, you know, talk a whole lot on the topic, man. But I mean, I want to overtake the topic. But it's crazy to me that, you know, that she kind of showed what the sentiment of a lot of the liberal democratic people are. You know, the ones that really don't know. The ones that know, they don't want any of this stuff to happen, because then they know they're gonna be in trouble for the next probably 10, 20 years. If some of these things go the way that is planned, they're gonna be in trouble. But I'll be quiet. I'll let you jump in.
No, that was good stuff, Cuzzo. Yeah, I mean, just hearing his basic explanation to it, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, a lot of people, when you hear, you know, that type of speech or information, you know, you kind of say, okay, I get what you're saying. But because the organization and the person that's coming from, which is the Trump administration, people are going to just turn their brains off and not even listen to it. You know, never mind, you know, all the debt that the country's in, never mind all the debt that each American's in, you know, because of the previous administration. It has nothing to do with Trump. You know, you're focusing everything based on the person that you don't like, and that's unfortunate. So just understanding and listening to it from a basic concept, yeah. If you buy stuff from someone, then yeah, and they get to just send it here, you know, just free of charge. You know, you don't have to pay anything, you know, for so many, you know, decades. And it's just kind of like, yeah, no wonder that inflation's up. No wonder that, you know, you have to do things a certain way. No wonder that, you know, all the companies moved out of the U.S. They moved to Mexico, moved to Texas. I mean, those are all for certain reasons. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we have to understand that you have to look at each individual situation and start to come up with some concrete information and evidence, and not just go off emotion. And that's what generally a lot of people do, is tend to go off emotions because they don't want to think, you know. And if they think, then they can really come down to some real information that's going to change really their perception of what's happening, what's going on. And they can no longer make the excuse of, oh, I don't like that guy, or oh, that guy's racist, or oh, that guy's this. No, you have to actually use your brain, So, yeah, basically with everything you said, I agree with. You have to pay. Nothing's free. And if it's been free up until this point, well, let's pay our fair share so we can start to bring the country's, deficit down. So, if that's truly what it's supposed to be for, then yeah, I'm for that.
And so what did he say? You don't have to mute. I think the echo went away. We'll try it out and see what happens. But because I like that we're able to jump in and out, you know what I'm saying, instead of having to mute. So go ahead and unmute and see. We'll see if it does it again. If it does, I'll let you know. But yeah, like he mentioned, you have like we have Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Like we're we still want to be under our oppressor. I hear people talk about they're oppressed and things like that. This is really a form of oppression. Like we're really under the thumb, and what's not, I don't want to say not fair, but what's annoying about it is that you know we have to come to an understanding, you know what I mean? And some people just don't want to. Some people, want to be, in their own world, like, like on the Matrix, right? They talk about red pill, blue pill. Well, they talk about red pill stuff, but really what the red pill is you coming to an understanding of what really is. And so people don't want to take that pill. They want to still live in the same world. They want that to believe that porridge, that nasty porridge that they're eating. I don't know if you remember that part when they were eating that little, it looked like oatmeal or cream of wheat or something like that, some slop looking stuff. And he was like, man, a steak would be better, right? We eating this crap, but you gonna, make it look like a steak. You want to still believe that it's a steak. And some people want to still, continue to live in that ignorance, because they don't choose to detach themselves, from it, you know. And one other point that I want to bring up: when you detach yourself from it, you're able to help other people in the process. He mentioned it. He said, "I'm not just worried about myself." He said, "I'm worried about my kids, my grandkids. I'm worried about the future generations." And by you being, attached to, what's not right, what's not correct, what's moving us into a worse situation, you're affecting the later generations. Because guess what? You may, pass, you may be 60, 70, 80, 90, however old, and you may pass. And then, you know, who's going to deal with it? If you had kids, your grandkids, their kids, etc. And so, I'm happy that there's some people who have foresight and have understanding that they're not going to be here forever, but they need to make things better, in the process. So when the future generations come up, that they can actually live a better life, be able to prosper, not have to worry about, paying all their money to the United States of America government, if it's not needed. We're able to, I know it's a long road ahead, and there's going to be some bumps because we've gotten far away from living, where we could be free like that, where people could, didn't have to worry about giving their hard earned money over to the government. It was hundreds of years ago, probably. I don't know the exact timeline, but I mean, I could pull it up, but the exact date. But anyway, I think that it's possible. It may take it, like I said, it may not be in our lifetime, but I think, for the most part, we're going in a good direction. I mean, things may look, dark for some people. The world was over as soon as Trump was elected, but he's doing some of the right things. He's taking some of the right steps, and I'm here for it. You still there, Cuzzo? Oh, he froze up on me. Okay. But yeah. Oh, uh, uh, oh, it's 3 of you. It's 2 of you. Let's see. I don't know if I remove you if it was gonna. Oh, there we go. Did it by itself. Cool. But yeah. Go to unmute. You good? If you have something to say.
You sound better now. I think that's what had to happen.
Oh, okay.
I can actually hear you now.
It's over now, man.
Exactly. No, but
But
you was
yeah,
cooking. You was cooking.
but what you have to say, man? Any final thoughts before we close it out?
Yeah, man. As always, man, I appreciate you, man, setting it up. You know, every time we get on here, man, I always say that because it is a definitely benefit add, you know, to have somebody who knows what they're doing. And even if they don't, they could figure it out. So I appreciate you on doing that. And then, yeah, man, I'll just tell everybody out there, man, give yourself an opportunity just to study yourself. You know, study yourself, you know, study your habits. And then, you know, look within yourself to understand yourself, you know, outside everything else that's going on outside yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're all you got, you know. And after that, you know, you'll have to determine and figure out, you know, what's best for you. Not based on what group you're in, not based on what group you're a part of, but you know, who you like to be yourself personally in your life. So I'll just leave you with that. And man, if you're in California, man, stay dry, man. Stay out the streets, man. We might need some boats in a minute if it keep on raining. So everybody take care, man. I'll see y'all next week. What you got?
Yeah, man. So it's always a good time, man. You know, we get to get some of our thoughts off. You know, some of our opinions as well. Man, I'm grateful that, you know, we finally got this thing started, you know, and we're able to hop on here, you know, even though it's not, you know, always planned out as we would like it to be. But I know things will get better, and we didn't necessarily start this to be perfect, but we start this to, you know, again, be able to get our thoughts off, and you know, maybe through the process it could help people. And I definitely want to start tapping into more topics of why we, you know, like the conversations we used to have, you know, like, or that we still have them. You know, it's usually during like football season. We talk about all kind of stuff, you know, but I think that's part of the reason why we, you know, wanted to do this, man. And you know, I'm grateful that we actually, you know, were able to get it started. Um, but for everybody out there, man, we definitely appreciate those, you know, future followers. I know we're gonna have thousands and thousands of people, you know, tuning in. You know, you always have to start somewhere. Great things start off small and they become great. So I'm excited about the journey. And I would say, you know, continue to seek truth. Truth is important. You know, I know we have um a lot of misunderstanding. I know last time, and you know, I'll just say it. You know, I didn't necessarily vote. I didn't vote for Trump last year. I mean, his last term. I didn't vote for him. You know, you know, I was stuck on the Democratic plantation. You know, what's crazy is I actually, when I opened my Twitter, you know, I looked up Donald Trump and it said blocked. So I had blocked him. I was like, and I can, and then when I saw that, I recalled, you know, some of the thoughts that I had, some of the same type of thoughts that people probably have now, right? And so I can't really fault anybody, but I would just say, you know, try to seek the truth and try to get understanding, because I did have him blocked, and I was like, man, would this dude stop tweeting and run the country? You know, but I was worried about the small things, you know, like he's gonna tweet. If he tweets, he tweets. As long as he's running this country effectively and getting us to a place where America is great again, you know, or America is great, period. You know, because I wasn't back in the days where America, I mean, actually, you know, when I grew up, America was cool. Like I didn't have to worry about a whole lot of things, but I would just say, in all things, get understanding and, figure things out for yourself and don't just follow after everybody. Try to get understanding for yourself so you can decide and make decisions on your own. But I know that's a mouthful. But man, we love you guys. We thank you for tuning in. If you don't mind, help these two regular dudes out and like, comment, and subscribe. Man, we want to get further out. We want to get to the masses, so we need your help and your assistance. And I guarantee you, we're gonna get better and better each and every time we hop on here. We appreciate you. Peace. All right, Cuzzo.